So in this video, I'm going to talk about facing unrighteous or unjust suffering as a man that is an attractive, godly man in today's world. Because a lot of people do not want to see men being the best version of themselves. Even men, like men do not want to see you be the best version of yourself. And it's really getting crazy out here. And for those of you that are just joining, my name is Thaddeus, and this is the Regal Change channel. And I want to welcome you and encourage you to and empower you to prosper in all possible ways financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, this channel directly focuses more on the spiritual and the physical and the emotional side of things more than the financial. And the reason for that is because I'm not like a financial consultant. I can help you and I can guide you to be more of, I would say, choose your financial battles wisely, but I do not consider myself a finance expert by any means. So, but here's the thing, I've met a lot of financial experts that claim to be financial experts, and then I tend to learn and know more about finances than they do. But anyway, that's kind of beside the point. The point is that there's going to be people in your life as you become more attractive, and you might be just getting hate more. You might just be getting people just mean mugging you or giving these like passive aggressive like side eyes or anything like that, or they might be talking behind your back. They might be smiling to your face and then and saying shit behind your back. Who knows what's going on, right? In some way, because a lot of these people out here are fake. It's really crazy, and I've gotten to the point to where I'm just going to speak the truth, and I'm just going to deal with the consequences as is. Like, I'm not going to intentionally start something, but I'm going to finish it if it needs to be finished. And I'm not going to start something that is in regards to like any kind of negativity. I'm not about that. I have love for everybody on this earth. Every living thing I have love for. Hell, even the walls I have love for to some degree. But you guys understand what I'm saying? You just appreciate where you're at. But at the same time, they're like, even though you have love for them, you don't really need to respect these kinds of people, because respect is reciprocal. Respect is a two-way street. If you can respect me, but I can't respect you, then like the respect really isn't there, and vice versa. If I can try to respect you and I can give respect to you, but you're not giving respect to me, well then there's a crossroads, and someone's going to have to take a certain road that maybe neither of us want to really take. But I've noticed that a lot of people tend to become distasteful, you could say, toward you when you become a more select, handsome, all around, well mannered, well respected individual. And the reason for this is maybe because they didn't think you were going to make it. Like, some of these people really didn't think that you were going to make it. But now all of a sudden that you're getting there, oh, now they want to come back into your life, whether it's friends or exes or even just women in general, where they were maybe around but they didn't really pay attention to you until now. Oh, now that they see that you're toward the finish line, that's where they want to come back, and that's where they want to see where things are going now. And it really depends on what you want to do in those situations. I highly recommend, if it's an ex, like a legitimate ex, or you've asked a girl out and she said no at the time, like, I would not recommend you take this person back. And you're also going to see the dark side of being an attractive, godly man, because the dark side that comes along with this, and whether you're a male or female, if you become a godly person, like you are that, you reclaiming of your innocence, you're repenting of your sins, you're doing what you need to do to get right with the Most High. You're praying, you're reading, you're physically fit. Everything about you is getting on point. You're going to start to see the dark side of reality in one way, shape, or form or another. But specifically for men, you're going to see the dark side of female nature. And I cannot even tell, even today it happened. Like, there are women out there that are loyal. Believe me, I've seen it. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to witness, because most of these, I was going to say something, but maybe I was going to say, maybe like most of these hoes out here, they're just hoes. Like, it's so sad to see the dysfunction, the disintegration, and just the overall amount of mommy and daddy issues in our society. Like, most of the women seem to have daddy issues, and most of the men seem to have mommy issues. And there's even a quote in Fight Club, now that I'm thinking about it. I didn't even think about this until just now, but it's like, in Fight Club, there's a line that says something like, well, us men have been raised by single moms, and look where that's got us. And in a sense, he's right. But it's not really a degrading message to the mothers. It's more that they didn't have proper guidance. They didn't have proper correction. And every woman that has actually had a father in their life that's actually been there understands that correction and the using the rod of correction, if we were to use the biblical term, is an act of love. It's not an attack. And you'll know this, men, if a woman is feeling like she's being attacked when you're trying to correct her, like you're trying to save this woman from her own self. And she gets upset and she thinks that, like, you're attacking her as a person. That is an indicator that she does not have a good relationship with her parents, even if her parents are in the picture. And this is something that I've noticed a lot, is that it's crazy how many people are still entwined with their families and they claim to have a good relationship until you get at the dirt. And then you start to see the dragon under the couch. You know, that's kind of where I that's kind of what makes me think about it, is like all of this stuff that happens in the house, and there's a huge dragon underneath the couch. It's not even an elephant. It's turned into a dragon, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to acknowledge the dragon. And it's like, well, you invited this thing in. You invited it in, and you probably didn't even know it. The dragon was disguised, or the dragon tried to tell you and the family that it was what it was. Well, it was what it wasn't. And you believed it. And so you invited it in. And now there's a dragon in the house. And nobody wants to acknowledge it. Nobody seems to care. But you might be seeing this. And if you do see this and you call it out or point it out, you might receive some backlash. But you're actually just wanting to come from a place of growth. You're wanting to come from a place of understanding. You want to come from a place of empathy. But you also want to come from a place of correction and love. That's again what it's all about. But these people out here, most of them, most of the women are running around. They're not taking relationships seriously because they're told, oh, just go play. You deserve to play. Go have your fun. Get it out of your system. Like, what does that even mean? Like, have we ever thought about that? And especially for men too. Like, as men, I don't think it's good for men or women to participate in promiscuity. And it just goes to show how far we've really gone. Like, it just, like, in a sense, I feel as though I'm beating a dead horse when I talk about this kind of topic. But at the same time, it's like, do people really not get it? Like, do we really not understand the entitlement on both males and female sides nowadays? People are being raised by social media. People are being raised by their cell phone. They're not being raised by their parents. They're not being raised by reading books. And I was at the dentist earlier today, and the hygienist, or whatever the title is, was telling me about the school system and how the homework that they have for this financial literacy class is just busy work. And like the homework was to like calculate certain what did they say? It was something about calculating certain incomes versus like your mortgage payment or whatever, and like what the percentage was. They never said anything about what exactly is a mortgage payment, what exactly is an income, what exactly is an interest rate, what exactly are these things. Nobody seems to understand that the public school system is shot. Like, it's dead. it's a zombie. The school system is a zombie industry. It's where you go in fresh and you come out you come out with your tongue hanging out and drool rolling down, not understanding what to do except we need obedience. We need obedient workers. We need obedience. That's like what you sound like. You sound like a zombie robot when you go out of the education system. They teach you how to do this, how to do that, how to do this, how to do that. Meanwhile, you as an attractive, godly man, you're doing your own thing. You're learning on your own. You're reading your own books. You're doing your own kinds of assignments for yourself. I prescribe in all my consultations, I tell everybody to do daily goals, which is, one is creative. So whether it's like painting, music, creative writing, stories, whatever you want to do. I don't like whatever kind of thing floats your boat as far as creativity goes. Then you've got your intellectual. Are you reading something? Are you doing like math problems or geometry or like something to just stimulate your brain? Are you playing chess? Because chess is a very strategic and intellectual game, actually. And then number 3, are you doing something physical, some kind of form of exercise? So those are like the 3 main things that I highly recommend. And meditate as the 4th. Meditate is another one that I think everybody ought to do. You don't get taught how to focus and notice what it's like to be you in the school system. You don't notice that. You don't get to notice that because you're so you're consuming so much information and then you're just forced to regurgitate it that you have nowhere to think within your own mind. You have nothing to really do within your own mind. So I genuinely believe that education is going to be a waste of time nowadays. Like, it's basically like it's like a babysitting job. And I'm not trying to, discredit any of the teachers out there, because there are good teachers. I had several good teachers, but there were only several, and I had like 100 teachers throughout my entire education system. And those were the ones that it's not like I can sit here and I can say they really cared, because they did, but it was more than that. They did more than care. They actually showed you how to think. They actually showed you how to ask yourself questions that are logically sound and that are going to propel you in the direction that leads you to yourself and self-awareness. And this is one of the reasons why I have this channel. This is one of the reasons why I have this channel. It's yes, like in a sense, it is to build a business and it is to build a brand, but that's not my focus. That's not really my main focus. My main focus is to get a message to those that need to hear it. And in a way, like I'm devoting all this time, and because I do this, I try to do videos every single day for over a year now. And even if you were to go back in time and watch those videos from just like a year and 3 months ago, like in that year and 3 months, I'm a different person now. I operate differently. I think differently. I'm behaving differently. I'm still me. I'm still who I am, but I am a much higher level version of myself. And that's cool to see, like the digital footprint through time. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm getting the message out in the best possible way that I can to those that need to hear it. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm trying to do this. That's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this YouTube channel, because I'm not necessarily like, I don't want to be an influencer. That's not my goal. I am interested in influence and I'm interested in power, but I'm not interested in being an influencer. I'm more interested in helping people become closer to themselves, because I know at the end of the day that that's what we're all searching for. We're all searching for something that is in here. We're searching for life within ourselves. For men, we're searching for virility. And people are not going to like that. People are not going to like that you actually have this virility to you as a man. Like you are, when you walk into the room, people feel your presence. And the women will stop and stare and the men will hate you for it. That's what happens. And so you got to be mindful of the jealousy out here, and you got to be mindful of any possible envy. And you don't need to seek out this kind of thing. Like, I'm not saying you should seek out people to be like envious of you or anything like that. You should just build yourself up, and you're going to find that people are going to be watching you that you had no idea were watching you. I saw this person at the coffee shop the other day, and they said, they just came up to me, and there was an older woman, and she just came up to me and she was like, wow, we see each other all the time. And I thought to myself, I've never seen you here before, ever. Like, I've never seen you before, woman. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like I really didn't know what to say, because I've never seen this woman. And she just acted like we were best friends. And she wasn't like old. Like, she was probably like in her 50s or so, but like younger 50s. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, you just never know who's watching you out here. You never know who's watching you. And then you have the other kinds of women that for like somehow they know your name. You never talked to them before. And they know all about you. They know, like, they seem to know all about you, but they'll pretend like they don't. They pretend like they don't. And that's kind of funny sometimes, but that kind of stuff happens too. And particularly with the dark side of this becoming attractive, it'll be insane how many people in relationships, like even just today, I saw this woman who was with her boyfriend at the gym, with her boyfriend. At least it could have been her husband. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? But she looked at me and she smiled at me, and she had that like glitter in her eye. And then, I was like, 'cause she was attractive, and I didn't see she was with her boyfriend until as soon as I looked and I was going to smile back, I saw her boyfriend walking over to her. And then she quickly dropped the smile and looked over to her boyfriend. And I was just like, You gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, this kind of stuff will happen. The dark side of female nature, you will see it, men. You will see it. And make no mistake, it's like, obviously you want to stay away from those kinds of women, but there are good women out there that they do want a marriage, they do want a family, at least. Like, they want to create a life, because that is going to be the backbone of our society, is a good family. When the family is disrupted, it's like, I mean, you can see it. Everything goes to hell. And if you don't believe that we're in hell in some way, shape, or form, psychologically speaking, then I'm not sure you're paying attention to what's going on in the world. Like, yes, we live in a very strange time where we have all of the possible availabilities and resources that we could have, and yet we're so not present at the same time. Like we're so not present as a society. We're just gone. We're everywhere. And there's very few people around that have their shit together. And it's wild to see. It really is stunning. Like, it's not even like, it gives me an awe feeling, but at the same time, that awe feeling comes with horrific terror. It's just, you could say it's kind of a trembling feeling of where we're going. And all that I can do is make sure that I give a message out to the people, hopefully, in the attempts to just bring awareness to what's going on and why you're going through these things. And you're going to face unjust suffering. Like, all of these things that happen to you, all of these things, you're going to go through it. You're going to go through the pain. You're going to have to go, like, something that I've realized is sometimes you have to fight pain with the trauma itself. Like, you have to fight the trauma with the trauma itself. But it's not necessarily you're fighting trauma. You're using it as a utility to bring you closer to yourself. And so you're actively confronting that which you are afraid of. That's the voluntarily part, right? You have to be, it's a voluntarily assigned prescription and antidote to your suffering, is to voluntarily face it. And that's not fun. It's not always fun. And when you're voluntarily confronting this stuff, especially as a man, and you're growing stronger mentally, physically, etc., all of a sudden, there's going to be a lot of people that love you and a lot of people that really don't like you. They really don't. And so you're going to have to learn to roll with the punches and just learn to become wiser and trust that on the other side of that suffering is going to be something so beautiful. But it's hard to remember that when you're in the midst of the suffering. It's very hard to remember that when you're in the midst of the pain, that on the other side is going to be some kind of form of triumph, some kind of form of experiencing what it's like to be in God's glory. Because the glory goes to God, but we can experience that vicariously. We can experience that. That's where I think bliss, the term bliss, comes from, is you're experiencing the glory of God vicariously. You're being the vessel itself of the glory. But it's not something to be attached to. And that's very important for you to understand. But anyway, I think I've said everything I want to for today. There are several different kinds of things I wanted to pack in here, but I think we got the job done. So I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.